All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing good. Doing good. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone's had an amazing weekend. Hope you're having a great morning today, as we get into another trading week. Obviously, we had a very exciting weekend. Norm and I, and the rest of the moderators, Andrew, Ryan, William, with the members meetup over the weekend. I mean, it was just an amazing time. All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank
Good
you
morning,
guys
Norm.
for coming out. I mean, what can I tell you? I wish you could do this more
It
often,
was
Norm.
amazing.
Right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
here's some of the pictures. Here's me and Norm taking some pictures here with at the event. I cannot wait to see some of the pictures that the photographer had as well. Again, just an
Yep.
overall good vibe that we had there, and just meeting people that came from all different places. I mean, we had people that flew in across country. Mike came from California. We had people from locally from Queens. David from Connecticut was there as well. Again, just great to put some of the faces to
Yeah.
the names that we see in the chat often.
Yeah, well, Carlos, I think we had, probably 120 to 150 people. We had people from, I think we ended up counting about 12 different states, 4 or 5 different countries that came in. It was absolutely amazing. We had Steve Spencer, who is co-founder S&B Capital with Mike Bellafiore, that everybody knows. Mike would have come, but he already had an engagement in Toronto that day. A couple of S&B traders came. Of course, Dr. Steenbarger gave, it was actually a really funny and useful discussion on obviously trading psychology. Just thank you guys, everybody, so much for taking the time, the energy, to come out and meet your fellow traders. Just thank you very much. It's amazing to be a part of a community like this.
Yeah, it sure is. And also, we have some people that were not part of the community, that are not members, from YouTube,
Oh,
that also
yeah.
joined us. I know Ali from Queens joined us there. She's a trader herself, and she just watches us on YouTube all the time. So thank you for coming. We met Art for the first time. Art is very active in our community. She was
Yep.
there with, she was there with her family, her husband and son. So that was exciting to see. We had Nick. Nick has an interesting story. Nick also brought his two sons. They're both twins. Actually, they were the ones that got him Andrew's book to join trading. So
Yep.
just all these great stories. Eduardo, who's always there in the NYC meetups. Nono and her family. She got the kids. I think she has the whole family
Yep.
trading there. Simon Robinson, Master Chief from Florida. I mean, Ed from Poughkeepsie came down.
It
I mean,
was
we can go on and on, guys. It'll take a whole show just to thank everyone that was there and their story. So really appreciate it for you guys coming down to this event.
ADJ was there. Yep.
Yes,
Ethan
yes.
was there. I mean, just everybody. It was awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So let's get into what we have this morning. Norm, as far as news, anything exciting happening today or this week that we should be aware of?
So there's not really a whole lot of economic data this morning. SPY, when I woke up, was essentially flat. All the markets were flat. European markets are down overall just a little bit this morning. Kind of mixed, but overall a little bit to the red side. Asian markets, I would say flat to mixed mostly. So nothing crazy there. We've got Empire State Index came out just a few minutes ago at 8:30 Eastern. We're fairly light on earnings. It's not a large number, but there's actually some decent companies reporting this week that we trade somewhat often. For instance, like Nike, MU. There's only, except for Thursday. Thursday is kind of a busy reporting day, but other than that, there's not a whole lot, but there's a few names scattered in there that we trade on a regular basis. So it should be interesting. We'll see. I don't know what kind of, we don't have a whole lot of volume so far this morning, but it's picking up a little bit. We'll see how the day goes. We'll see what transpires over the next 45 minutes as we're working on our open here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm definitely interested to see how MU is going to report this week. Because again, I think they have a very interesting daily chart stuck within this range. So that'll be exciting to see how that makes out. All right, guys, let's look at what we have on our gappers list. As usual, we'll go over this list here, and then we'll get into our NASDAQ active, NASDAQ gainers. Then we'll look into both chats to see if you guys found something that we have not yet looked at. that could look interesting. So let's start with a PSTV. This one sounds familiar. This is up 62% this morning, 204,000 shares traded. Pre-market activity looks pretty active so far. The flow on this is, oh my God, 388,000 shares flow. So I'm going to put this down here for the low flow team. It's funny, we did have some people in there that they love when we used to say, when we say it's for the low float team, they think, they know that's for them because they trade low floats. Again, nothing wrong with trading low floats, guys, as long as you do it correctly and you manage your risk. So this one's definitely active today. Tons of volume. Has been a runner up before, guys. You can see the volume right on here. You can see the nice little pop going from 10 all the way to 16. That is huge. And then here, a couple of days trading really, really well. So I gotta say, as a daily chart for the type of flow, actually not that bad the last couple of the last month or so, right? This is not a bad daily chart for the type of float that it is. I will still not, personally, I'm not going to trade it. But this looks very clean. Again, we'll have to see how the intraday trades out, but this looks very clean for a low flow stock this morning. Again, up 62%, quite a bit, and definitely 205,000 shares traded. I wish it would have had a little more, but that's still some decent volume. Tony B, yes, this is a former runner for sure, because I remember seeing this this ticker in the past, and you can see here you have several days where it popped up and it actually held in close green. A lot of these low flow stocks, they'll gap up and all you see is just huge red candles right on the way back down. Right at the pre-market, they'll open up and they just start dropping. So this one looks interesting today. Let's look at X. X has been active over the last couple of days. We had a nice gap down here. We looked at it on, I think this was Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. And then we had Friday. Not much happening here, but for the gap down, I think it traded very well. A lot of members were able to take some good opportunities on this. Today, it is down another 3.3, 145,000 shares traded. Pre-market activity not all that exciting yet, but I like the fact that it's down again after gapping down, another drop here, and now we're getting close to some daily levels over in the end of August. And if we just look back at the history here, that could be that's definitely looks like the 52-week low. Yeah, so this is definitely getting into an interesting spot for X. Next we have MT, as we know, guys. Go ahead, Norm.
I was just going to say, so X dropped last week. They cut their guidance, citing some global slowdown, specifically in Europe. And then I believe it was JP Morgan downgraded and reduced their price target on this morning. So that's what's going on there with X. Yes, X going to give it to you. Maybe we'll get another recap out of. Maybe we'll get another recap out of A-Dog using that. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So so that's good. We'll definitely look what happens out of this one. We do have shares for sure, which is nice. Let me see if do we have plenty? Yeah, we have plenty of shares for sure on this one, so that's good. MT, as we know, guys, is a stock that's a foreign company and usually gaps up or down quite a bit, so not looking too great as usual. Let me just get my mouse here to charge. All right, here we go. Excellent. And again, so not really something that we trade. Again, look at the pre-market activity, nothing exciting happening, and it's usually pretty dull to look at. Next, we have OSTK. It's one that also has been quite active the last couple of days, and you can just tell by looking at this daily chart. I mean, look at the moves on here. Let's remove these levels. Look at the moves on here. It's just kind of ramping up from 16 all the way up to 30, and then right back down to 16, and now we're losing that towards the bottom here. We lost a big level of support. Prior resistance going back to beginning of July or so. You see that nice resistance building up here, nice little wedge, and you can see the nice little pop, and you can see how it consolidated, and now we have lost that support. Two supports, actually, two major supports. We have this one here, and then we also have this one here we just lost. So interesting, guys. This is one that, again, it's not a low flow. I recall this is 26. It's on the lower side. It's not a low flow. You see low flow is something 15, 10, 9, 8, and definitely this one here 388,000. But this one moves very wild. The ATR on this is very, very high. I mean, your ATR is at 281, and that's for the last 14 days. On a stock that's trading at $13, that is a lot. That's massive. So please, extra cautious on your size.
While it's not a usually we qualify the low float. The determining boundary there is kind of around 20 million. It's still low. And then it's got a huge short interest in it too. The short interest in Overstock is right at about 44%. By one data source, let me check, and 55% per trade ideas. So That also can lead to the volatility. Sometimes a lot of those short shares are tied up for a longer period of time, sometimes by larger institutions. So it can actually make it a little bit more of a whippy ride, subject to a squeeze possibility. I mean, it doesn't look like it today with gapping down, but if you ever get positive news that comes out on something like this, it could. And then the other thing too about it is Overstock also trades along with Bitcoin to some degree because they were one of the first things that started accepting Bitcoin as payment, and they house a significant portion of it, or a decent amount of Bitcoin. So it also kind of is it's a bit of a proxy for Bitcoin traders sometimes. So
Yeah, yep. So again, extra caution with that one, guys, but it's definitely in play today. It's got some good volume, some good pre-market activity at the moment. Look at this 5 minutes. It's got a nice range going on here. But just to show you, the 5 minute starts, your high right now is at 1540, your low is at 1275. So you already got a very, very massive range here, more than the ATR. So cautious in taking trades here. Let's look at the NASDAQ active column. So we have TVIX on here, slightly up. Not much going on. This has been pretty exciting the last couple of days. Has been very active as the SPY is doing. I think it was Friday. The SPY started dropping on some news that came out, and you can see how this spiked up. I saw a couple of traders take some trades in the afternoon here. Next, we have OSTK. We have on our list already. This looks good. Roku. Wow. Let's talk about Roku a little bit. I mean, this thing has been unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, not yesterday, but on Friday, this thing opened
oh my
up
God,
at
I don't even
120.
want to talk about it, dude.
I'm gonna talk about it.
It's depressing. It's depressing.
Yep, it surely is, guys. I mean, 126, and this thing dropped $20, and tons of you members took advantage of this. So good move on that. And then just look at the drops. The last last over 2 weeks, it just has been taking these massive red candles. You just definitely don't want to go long. Took 3 weeks to get up here. It's taken 1.5 to drop back down towards this level. So we'll see what Roku does today.
I gotta think we're gonna come down and test the 200 moving average on the daily.
Yeah.
It's that. I mean, I'm not into predicting, but if I had to, look at that right there around 81ish. It just looks like it wants to get to that. Try that.
I agree. I was actually doing my first prediction as an analyst for the first time ever that this thing was going to get to 200. I obviously failed on that, so I won't be predicting anymore. My career was very short. But this thing is definitely, you want to have this one on your list, guys. Is very, very active. NASDAQ, ETF, QQQ, NAKD, garbage, guys. Look at this pre-market activity, penny stock, RBZ. Yeah. This one is also garbage, guys. Does not trade very well. It is a low flow, 1.7, but it's not a good low flow, right? It's a bad low flow. It's one of those that doesn't move much and just could be very crappy. So just avoid it if you can. PSTV, we have AVDL. Another one that's got some activity this morning, 185,000 shares traded. Looks like it's starting to get going. Let's just confirm what our flow is for this one. AVDL. 33. Okay, so a little bit on the higher side. It's still a lower price, under 5, so you want to be a little careful with it, but it's not bad when it comes to actual flow. Now looking at the ATR here is 24 cents, so that's decent for this type of price. The last couple of days, it looks like they've been having some good news because they've been ramping up pretty nice, away from $2 to 350. Now here climbing out of that area of resistance they had Thursday and Friday, and now at 435. So worth taking a look at. I'm gonna put it down here not because it's a low flow, just because I want to be cautious with the number of shares with this type of stock. Anything under $5, we just want to have it on a separate list just to make sure that we are, we're watching it correctly and being cautious. So next we have
this one. It's got an 18% short float, which it's elevated, but I wouldn't call it extreme. It is a foreign company. It's out of Ireland, a biotech. So just a heads up on that. It might trade a little funky because it's an Irish company. Yeah.
All right, nice. Yeah, it's hard to tell that it's formed with the daily because you don't see a lot of gaps like you do usually with these foreign companies. But probably because it's trading under $5, you're not going to have those type of movements. Could be. All right, next INPX. Nothing happening here. Penny stock. Our buddy AMD still stuck in this range. Just has not done much there. Volume 200,000, which is not a lot for AMD the way we usually trade it. By now you have 500, 600,000. So again, not moving too much this morning. We'll look for that one in our scanners just in case we can pop into and see what's going on. Let's go over to Nasdaq Gainers PSTV. We have this one here. You can see it's got some good volume, good pre-market activity, up quite a bit, 77%. This is the low flow of the day. But again, guys, this thing is 388,000 shares afloat. So you don't want to be careful. ARTX, horrible, nothing happening there. AVDL, we already have. CLSN, block trade, somewhere in there. Not even, there's no volume, just popping up, but no volume. NTEC, also nothing going on. VIVE, also looking crappy. Next, let's look at PTE. So PTE also not doing much, no volume. PSMT, horrible, no activity. HARP, same situation, only 4,000 shares traded. And AVEO, also no volume. Has some volume, 74, but again, look at this pre-market activity, just not doing anything great, really. All right, Norm, what do you like this morning besides what's on here already?
The four things that I watch a lot: Facebook, Apple, and Video. Roku's the one that's actually fairly interesting. The others aren't doing much this morning. MNK, that you and I traded and had a hell of a day on it a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
It's popping up 16% this morning on positive news. FDA trial results on a skin graft treatment for burn victims. So once again, guys, kind of my idea in this is it's got extremely high short interest, which I need to double check, but I think the short interest has been refreshed in the, I think it's a new read on that. Let me look.
Okay.
And it's, so the short float's 67%, and I have it as 52 and another source 54. So it's a squeeze opportunity with a positive results coming out. Could be interesting. I very rarely ever trade anything under $5. My one trade on this a couple weeks ago was probably the first time in 10 years that I've touched anything under $5. But it was a really interesting pop, and it looks like on the daily too. It got above the 9 moving average there on that day we traded it on the 10th. And now we're sitting, and maybe it's going to try to hold that 9. So we'll see what happens. It could be interesting.
Yeah, it definitely is. So I'll definitely watch this one, because this one we have some really good trading on it, and it's got some good volume right now. 1.2 million shares traded, and again, it's not a low flow; it's 88 million shares flow, so it's definitely something we can trade.
Yeah, and then another one I'm looking at, Chewy. Chewy got an analyst upgrade, I believe, out of Nomura into the 30s, but it's got somewhat high short interest, 18%. It IPO'd earlier this year, so I don't know if I'll trade it. Floats 52 million. It's up 3.64% with, it's got okay volume at 58. This will probably hit our scanners a little bit later today. I've traded it once before. It was a little bit difficult to trade, but I might have my eye on that one as well.
Yeah, actually, I think this one will be a good one today as well. Over the last couple of days, you can see the volume increase, so we're getting a lot of activity on this one today. We're getting a little bit of a bounce, so definitely worth having on our list. All right, guys, let's see what you guys have on your end. So I am going to scroll up. Let's see what we have here. So MNK we have already on our list. This is good. Teva, let's see what Teva is up to. Then we'll look at RKDA. Teva doesn't have much activity right now. It has some volume, 117, but not much activity. Has a very interesting daily though. Seems to be heading right back down to areas of support. You can see right on here we have some resistance and support in the past. You can see some key points here on several days where you have support and resistance, support and resistance, and also we're breaking down from this 750 support. The previous day close at 745. So definitely worth watching this one. I think it'll be interesting. It just needs to get more volume and more activity. Right now this is pretty dead, and I know if Teva does not get the volume and activity, guys, it's going to be pretty hard to trade. So good possible. We'll throw it on here for a possible today. RKDA. This is the low flow, right? I believe RKDA, yeah, 4.7 million shares flow, guys. So again, we have to be extra cautious here. But I do remember the pop here. It has some good news. It actually held. It popped some more, and it hasn't went back down towards this $2 where it was trading at for some time, right? It was just hanging around here between $2 and $3. So I'm not seeing a lot right now, especially for this type of flow. You want to see activity, guys. You don't want to be stuck in something that has this type of flow and you don't have the volume. So could be a good possible for later on today if it gets the volume and if it hits our maybe high of the day bull flag scanner on trade ideas. So we have this on here. Usually a stock like this one will be coming up on the scanners. If that does that, it'll be worth taking a look at. So that's what I'm going to look for if that happens there. And then we'll see if we get an opportunity. But again, this is a low flow stock, guys. I'm going to try to focus on our main list if we can. YNDX. Let's look at here. YNDX. This one, wow, massive red day on Friday. Lost this range. We kind of stuck within this range here and had a nice big drop on Friday. A lot of things dropped on Friday, right? The market was really selling off. It did bounce back a little bit, but you had a lot of drop-offs on Friday. I wonder if that cost it. But I love the daily, though. We hit on Friday an area of support that you can see here. Nice double bottom, beautiful pop, and we're back right on there with a nice little bounce back. The volume is just not there at the moment. But again, two great possibles, Vikram, so thank you for that. We'll put that on there as a possible as well. We'll get some levels for it, and then we'll see what we can do from there. Fit. Let's see what Fit is up to. Is this Fitbit? Yeah, Fitbit.
Yeah.
Not much activity right now, guys. It has 136,000 shares traded, but this activity is horrible. Also, what I don't like about Fitbit, it doesn't trade very clean. The few times I personally have traded, hasn't done much. It doesn't move a lot, and that's one of the issues with this type of stock. And also, it could be an issue with Teva. Now that Teva is a lower price stock, it just tends not to move very well, right? So, not too exciting about this one right now. I see what you're looking at, though. You have a good eye here. You have the pop here that broke out. You have another up 6.5. You have some volume. This actually should be hitting our scanners, and maybe because of ATR. It's got to be because of that. Yeah, ATR is 23 cents, so that could be it. Let's see. But if it gets good volume and it goes on a nice run, it could be a good trade. I just don't see too much right now. What else, guys? What else do we have? Let me just scroll down. Euros. Let's see what Euros is doing here. So this one's been active. We had some people traded on Thursday. Friday kind of sold off. So not much going on right now. It has 75,000 shares traded. It has been on a nice little run the last couple of days, doing a nice little trend trade here. You can see how it bounces off this moving average and heads higher. It's actually been trading really, really well. But again, right now, I'm just not seeing much activity. Another one that you can look for to hit the scanners for a possible trade. Sold off on Friday, and it's kind of holding this area around $3 at the moment. All right, looking over in YouTube, so Fitbit, we looked at Netflix. Yeah, Netflix was interesting Friday as well. Also one that had dropped quite a bit. But again, Roku took the show for sure, dropping $20 in the fashion that it was doing it as well. Netflix will be interesting too, guys. No volume at the moment. I think Netflix and Roku are two that you can definitely watch today to see what kind of continuation moves we're going to get, how the market is going to react at this open, what kind of market action we're going to get. But yeah, Roku is definitely could be a good one to watch on the side as well. EXAS seems to be getting a little bit active. I don't see the volume though, but it has a nice pop. It's up 5.8. You got some areas of resistance here that it just has broken out through this morning. But again, it just doesn't have that volume just yet. Only 36,000 shares traded. But this could easily change. Now, I'm not sure how this one does during pre-market activity. Obviously, we had a huge drop in the beginning of September. So not sure how this one's going to act. Again, another one that could be a good possible. This Teva, YNDX, SX also look great for a good possibility if they can get some volume in here. So T is telling us positive FDA indication. Yeah, that could definitely be a good one then. So we'll throw it on here as a possible. We'll get some levels for it, and then we'll decide which one we're going to keep this morning. All right, folks, we'll do a few more. So JD, what is JD up to? No volume on JD. Also stuck within this range. Kind of looks like, reminds me of AMD a little bit. Just kind of stuck within this two levels there. Not looking great, guys. Again, this was trading good before. We had some good stretches out of this. There were some days that it just ran when it gapped up or down. But lately, it just has not been trading well. Again, reminds me of AMD. AMD's doing the same thing, just not trading well at all the last couple of days. Yes, MNK we do have. We're going to get into more details on that one. This is good. It trades very well when it's in play. Today has 1.2 million shares traded, up 17%. So I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on this one. This will definitely be on my list. Me and Norm a couple of weeks back had a nice trade on this thing. So we'll look forward to repeat that again today if we can it gives us the opportunity. All right, let's get into some announcements, guys, and then we'll go into some levels of support and resistance on these stocks here, and then we'll finalize our list a bit further. So let's bring this right over here. Here we go.
Yeah, guys, so it's Monday morning. Every week we do the Monday morning rundown. We will have, once again, Brian is still out of town. He gets back this week. So there will not be any swing trade discussion this afternoon, but maybe he'll do it later in the week when he gets back. I'm sure he is jonesing to get a piece of the market. I know he's been hit with some pretty nasty internet connections, hasn't been able to trade. So we look forward to having him back. And then on the next slide, we'll also have some interesting news with Brian in regards to Brian as well. Class 1 onboarding tonight, 8 p.m. in the classroom. Tuesday, tomorrow, we've got Williams Trade Review, 3 p.m. He's also streaming those live on YouTube. If you haven't done it yet, hit subscribe and then the notification bell. You'll be notified whenever he goes live with those. Workshop Wednesday, noon in Eastern in the classroom. I don't recall who is doing it this week or what the subject matter is, but I know they've really been loved and they are well attended. So hop in there. It's kind of an informal workshop. And we'd love to have you in there. And then, like I said, Williams Trade Reviews, 8 p.m. Wednesday, 3 p.m. Thursday. Kurt's Fireside Chat will be Friday, 3 p.m. Traders for a Cause. So, guys, we are very proud to be a supporter of Traders for a Cause. We just started this partnership this year recently for their event coming up, and we hope that we are able to grow this. This year they're going to break over $1 million donations to charity. The beneficiaries are Breast Cancer Research Foundation and The Life You Can Save. If you go to their website, it gives you more details on all the charities and stuff. I know one thing somebody mentioned in one of the social channels was, mention what they support. It's easy. If you go to their website, you can see it. The exact charities. So that, like, a few of them that they have are Wings Over Wall Street to benefit Muscular Dystrophy Association. Like I said, Breast Cancer Research, Bachman Strauss Foundation, Building Dreams for Marines, other things like that. So just take a peek over there. It's a great charity to be a part of, and we're proud to be proud of it. Also, you can donate on their site. You can get tickets to the event that's in Vegas. It's a 4-day event. You can get a discount with the discount code Bearable VIP. There will be a number of traders. We will at least have one mod there. I'm not exactly sure who yet, but they'll be there as well. It's October 12th. So hope you guys take a look and consider being a part of that. All right, then. So New York City meetup. If you guys looked at the Bearable Buzz newsletter that came out midday yesterday, there's a couple of quick camera phone pics in that, but we had a photographer there. We should get pictures for that and have pictures that will come out in the next few days. So look forward to sharing those with you guys. Next Lifetime webinar this Thursday, September 26th. It's going to be Andrew and Brian. Brian will be back from his European travels. So there is a forum post with information information on it, and then you can post your question for them to discuss in the Lifetime webinar this Thursday. Dash Traders #1 Best Trader competition is ongoing. It is awesome. You can go check out the leaderboard over there. Some really cool prizes and such. Registration's closed for this one. You can go to onebesttrader.com to take a look, but it shouldn't be too long before they crank up another one. So if you go over there, you can take a peek and see what it's all about. Then Bearable Traders is honored to have been nominated for the Benzinga FinTech Awards in People's Choice category for Best Financial Literacy Tool. If you enjoy the content we put out, and both YouTube for free and also as part of the community, we would love to have your vote. It takes about 2 seconds. AB will throw up the link both in YouTube and in the room. It takes about 2 seconds, 2 clicks. and you're done. So if you enjoy it, thank you very much. We appreciate your vote. Upcoming meetups: St. Louis, October 19th. Kurt William will be there. San Diego, October 26th. Andrew will be there on the Trade Ideas Conference on a panel for that. I believe I'm going to that one. I think William will be there as well, but I'm not 100%. We'll hammer out details on that and let you guys know. But this, guys, really, not only is San Diego a beautiful place if you haven't been, but the Trade Ideas Conference is really, it makes it kind of doubly good to be able to go meet some traders, Andrew, whoever, for the meetup. But then the Trade Ideas Conference that day is packed with information and knowledge. If you can't make it to San Diego, you can also stream it. So they'll have more information as we get closer to it on that. Then the Clearwater Beach, Florida meetup on November 16th. If you're watching us on YouTube and you have not been a part of the room, if you have not tried out the room and you would like to, you can do the 1 week trial at a discount, pre-market 24. Once again, that's pre-market 24 as you see it there on the screen. So come try the room out, and it doesn't auto-renew or turn into any kind of other kind of membership or anything like that. Also, as I mentioned, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Any thumbs up you give us are also highly appreciated, but I feel like an organ grinder monkey with asking for the likes, but we appreciate any likes you guys give us. And if you subscribe and hit that bell, then you'll be notified whenever we come online with fresh content.
All right, beautiful thing. All right, guys, let's get to our list over here. Let's see what we have. So let's start over with X. So X at the moment's got some volume here. It's got some activity. I love the fact that we have lost this support here at the previous day close. Has been an area of support the last couple of days after we had this nice drop. So this could be interesting. And also, it traded very well, I believe, on Thursday. Now, I don't recall Friday, but I know Thursday traded very well, and a lot of traders were able to take some good opportunities. Low of the pre-market sitting at 1035, and then below that we have a nice little drop all the way down to 1015, 1018. So I'm going to mark that down, and I think this might be the all-time low, maybe not, but I'm going to go back and just check here on our daily chart. All right, we're going back too far now. Let's go to our weekly. Now we do have some areas right here going back to 2015, 2016. So I'm just going to mark the all-time low, looks like to be at 635, and then we have another level here at 846. I don't think we'll get there, guys, because again, those are the two clean levels we have off this weekly chart. This doesn't move much, right? It doesn't move a lot, so I don't think we'll get that type of drop where we'll go past, $10, 950. But anything is possible. In the last couple of days, we have received some good big drops on X. So that's worth watching. We do have stocks for inventory for short, so that's good as well. So 179,000 shares traded. We got two good levels towards the bottom here. Pre-market activity not looking all that great though. Hopefully this can get a little bit better as we get closer to 930. Above the price action now, we do have our pre-market, which is also the low of 2 days ago, right on there, same exact number, 1063 previous day close. Also, we have the highs and for the last 2 trading days as well. So we got plenty of levels on X to go off. So next we have OSTK. So OSTK is very active, guys. 567,000 shares traded so far. So this looks very good. Low of the pre-market at 1275. So we'll mark that down. Below that number on OSTK, I'm sure we'll get some data here. Going back towards June, between that May and July timeframe, we had a nice little drop here. We have a clear level right here at 1172. You can see the clear bounce, beautiful bounce. From that level comes right back down. Once we lose that level, you see the drop, right? A lot of traders expect a bounce here. We don't get that bounce, everybody bails out. You can see the nice, beautiful drop. Then on the way back up, that same level, 1172, becomes resistance. You can see here the test of resistance. We couldn't stay above it. Head back down, create another level here, which we can actually mark. This 1079, right? Resistance, so twice here, resistance, breaks out. Again, resistance, breaks out, becomes support, and then breaks out again. So several levels there being tested. 1172 and 1079 are great for OSTK towards the bottom today. Towards the top, you do have your previous day close, and this support there has been very strong. As you can see, the nice pop heading all the way up to 30 and then coming right back down. The last 2 days, we could not hold that previous day close at 1497. And we have lost that today. I want to get a level between 1320, which is the price action right now, and the previous day close, because that's a decent gap there. So I'm going to go back, and you can see a nice level at 1412, guys. 1412. Look at this pop. Get the rejection right on there. So you got some resistance happening right on here. 3 days it could not get above that 1412. And once they get on our way back up, you can also see the rejection happening around 1412 and then becoming support after we break out of that and actually close above that. So 1412 is good. And then above 1412, we got the previous day close, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Don't need to add any more to that list. Next we have Roku. So Roku here again, this one, guys, has been extremely active, definitely worth watching. 347 shares traded so far. Some levels towards the top, we do have this gap here, which is 117.75. High of our pre-market sitting at 111.48. So we'll mark that down. And then towards the bottom, because that's where it looks like we'll be heading to in the long term with Roku. Just the way it's been trading, it's just been unbelievable. So we're bouncing back from the previous day close here. We do have the low from Friday, which is sitting right here. So below the low from Friday, we got a nice level, very clean here. 2 days bouncing off this 97.51. Now, obviously, guys, you want to look out for that $100 mark, because obviously that could be a good support if we head towards the bottom here. You can have some loss of momentum there or a possible bounce, so be aware of that. But as far as the daily goes, the daily chart has a clear level, clear at 97.51. Several days, you can see it right here, you can see it here, you can see it here, you can see it so many days. Is again testing that 97.51 is very clean on what we're seeing there. So that is Roku, guys. Let's see how that's gonna react today. MNK is one that's we have traded in the past and has done very well, has a former runner. So we have 1.4 million shares traded so far at the moment. High of the pre-market sitting at 319. Above that, we do have an area here at 364, and the peak over here, the most recent peak we had at 415. So some very clean levels right on there. Towards the bottom, we have plenty. We have your previous day close, the highs and lows from the last 2 trades, and we also have some moving averages coming in towards the bottom as well. And we have this one right on the high of the pre-market this morning. If we get running above that 415, again, that's a stretch. You have to go through 3 significant levels to get above that 415. The next one that I see is this moving average, and then also above that you have this nice little rejection candle here at 542. So plenty of levels there. Don't think we need to add any more to that. SHWY. So this one's bouncing back a bit here. Again, it's had a couple of days where it's been just heading south. They do have some positive news today, so that's helping them. Pre-market activity not looking all that great, guys. You can see here it doesn't look very active at the moment. Still under 100,000 shares traded, but I want to keep an eye on this one because we do have a bounce for 3.5 this morning. As far as levels, previous day close towards the bottom, low of Friday as well, right on there. And then you have your high from Friday, you have your high from Thursday, and then above that you have a very nice level here at 29.35. Very clean area of support and then resistance on this day here. So that's a nice levels towards the top. Towards the bottom, let's go back here. We don't have anything, guys. Recent IPO has not been down here before, so this is the all-time low on this recent stock. All right, so that looks good. Let's go over to Teva. Teva again doesn't have the volume right now. Well, it has 133,000 shares traded, but that volume has not created good pre-market activity. So I'm going to remove this one from the list now. But the daily looks interesting, guys. The daily has a great possibility. So just let's do some levels just in case this thing pops up and becomes active. We have 728 as low as the pre-market. Below that, let's look at this daily chart. We do have an area right on here, right across. You draw a line on that 7, which makes sense. Set the whole dollar. You can see clearly the areas of support right on here, resistance, and then support again. So that's good. Then below that, you have clearly this day here, these 2 days here, 640. Right, huge bounce from these days here, and then you have this one all the way down here at $6, right? So we'll mark that down as well. Teva doesn't move much, so I'm even going to add another extra level in here. Clearly see the support and resistance, support and support right at 679. So again, you have several levels towards the bottom and several towards the top based on the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. YNDX also had a very bad day on Friday, so high of your pre-market sitting at 36.48. Your low sitting at 36.20. Below that price action of the low of the pre-market, we have another 2 days sitting around 36.04. So we'll mark those down. And then below that, clearly a previous day close is going to be an area of some big support. If we lose that support, just in case, we have a nice moving average here at 35.35, right on there. It's a beautiful moving average coming in below the low of the previous day close, and you can see, wow, that moving average also hitting several days on here. These two, 1 and 2, as a support, so that's good. Then towards the top, above the pre-market high at 36.48, we do have some chop here. I'm trying to see if we could find some area of support and resistance. Looks like right around here, 36.94, basically 37. If you draw a line right on there, you can see the areas of support and resistance. You know, kind of keeps banging its head before it finally able to break out of that 36.94 area. Right now, not much volume, not much pre-market activity, so I'm going to remove this one. But if we can get some kind of continuation when the market opens, if it hits our scanners, we'll be ready to go. SX is one that right now is not as active, only 46,000 shares traded, but let's be prepared for it. High of our pre-market sitting at 111.25, so we'll mark that down. Low of the pre-market is already being marked by the high of 2 days ago on Thursday, right on there. And between the price action and the low of the pre-market, you do have an area right here at 108. So 108, you have a huge bounce. When we had this huge red day, we actually found support right on this area. We have several days testing that support as well, and then almost testing that as resistance. So I want to have that down because I think that's an area that we can test throughout the trading day if this thing becomes active. Above the pre-market high, we do have an area right on here, several days bouncing off this 114.77 here, 3 days here, and basically some nastiness happening here. But you can clearly see how they are just bouncing from that 114.77, and then below that 114.77 we have 113.36, 113.46. Mark that down because you also have an area of support and resistance around that level. Right now, not looking great, so I'm going to remove this one as well, but we'll be ready with our levels in case it becomes active and hits our scanners. AVDL, this one just not looking all that great, guys, on pre-market activity. It's got some volume, is up 30%, but just this pre-market activity overall is not looking exciting. Let's mark down some levels because it has had a couple of days where it's trading very well. You can see right on here. Again, I'm just going off the daily chart. Not sure how this intraday looks. So if you're going to trade this, make sure you study the intraday, see what it has done in the past, the last couple of days. Low of your pre-market 370, high of the pre-market 537. Let's scroll back and see if we have some levels between this price range at the moment, between 372 and 537, and we do. We got quite a bit on here. So the price is sitting right at a level right now, which I'm going to mark. So that 433 is definitely a level. Look at the support happening here in the daily and all the action that's happening around that 433. So mark that down. Above that, we also have another level at 480. You can see 480. If you draw a line right on there, you can see the levels of support right on these days. More support here, and then also resistance on these couple of days before we have to drop. So plenty of levels on AVDL. Let's do one more towards the top because our high of the pre-market is 537. But if we can break out of that, we clearly have one level right on here at 587. So 587 is a good one. We got a question in chat about in regards to why we don't trade stocks lower than $5. Several reasons. The strategies that we trade are better between that mid and large flow stocks, and I gotta say that they tend to appear more, not 100%, but appear more in the stocks that are above $20. It just seems that way. The stocks under $5, if they have a really high float, they don't move much, right? Look at the GEs of the world, and even Teva. I mean, Teva doesn't move much. What's Teva's float? I think Teva's float is high, right? Look at this, 1 billion shares float. So it doesn't move a lot. So that's the issue when you have sometimes these low price stocks with a higher float. They don't move a lot, and we need volatility. And then the ones that have usually a lower price under $5 and have a low float are risky. So you don't want to be trading those as well. So that's the reason why. It's not that we don't trade them, but sometimes the criteria don't match what we're looking for. AVDL, we looked at. Teva, we looked at. PSTV, this one seems to be the low float of the day, if I recall, right? What is the float on this one? I think this one was pretty low. Actually, this is the one. Yeah, this is a 388. So again, guys, extreme caution with this one. If you have no experience in trading low float, just completely avoid this one and don't trade it. But here we have 1728 is the high of the pre-market. Then we have here 2270. Let's head back. Another level here at 1850, and then This must be 20 because 20 just makes 20 right here, 1987. All right, so that makes sense towards the top. You got plenty of levels, guys. The price is actually sitting at an area of a daily level, so I'm gonna mark it like because it's sitting right on. You could tell you have several days using that as resistance, so mark that down. And then towards the bottom, we have another area right over here. Excellent, right to hit 13, so mark that down as well. See the support happening there. All right, guys, so that is what we have so far. Again, be extra cautious with PSTV. This one is one that you want to be very, very careful this morning with. It is a low float, 388,000 shares float. All right, so that is what we have. Norm, anything that I missed that we can...
No, I think you're in good shape, man. I've just been focusing on these. I mean, Roku, X, M&K, and Chewy I'm not in love with, but I think it might move. So we've got pretty similar lists this morning. I steer clear of Overstock, but it looks like it might do something. So
yeah, Overstock looks active. Yeah.
MU looks it looks fairly interesting. It's not a huge cap up. It's 0.5%. It's kind of spotty pre-market action. But it's 209,000 shares, which is pretty decent for MU.
That is really good for MU. And again, we got some of the support here that if we can lose this, will be really nice. All right, guys, Andrew's about to come on. Thank you again for joining the pre-market show. We will see you guys again tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern time. Take care, guys.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming Saturday. And good morning, Andrew.
Actually, before we log off of YouTube, Andrew might want to say a few words, so I'll keep it on for a bit.
Yes, thank you. Well, good morning, YouTube people. I just wanted to say thank you for coming to our YouTube pre-market show. There's a lot of information that Carlos and Norm are sharing. So I do hope that even if you're not part of the chat room, having a great trading day. So we wait for a few minutes at the market open. So we find the direction of the stocks in play. So just make sure that don't jump into a trade before you are certain about the direction. So all the best, and hopefully you can join us. If you're not a member of our community, you can join us even for 1 week for an intro level. Anyways, guys, so good morning. So presentation about best practices on to improve your trading psychology. He shared the slides and PDF with us. We're going to send an email to all members, and you can actually download the presentation. I myself actually might record a summary of his presentation because we didn't record his presentation, but I myself actually might do a quick summary on a video and share the link with you. Yeah, so we had over 120 people showed up. The SMB Capital traders came. Steve Spencer, the co-founder of SMB Capital, he came also. He was really impressed with our traders and how knowledgeable we are and how we are trading. We also talked with a couple of good traders that they have, Rafael and another person that I don't remember his name. So I think it was amazing. I think it was a very successful event. Thank you very much for everyone who flew from all states. I know we had people from Florida, California, Texas, Missouri, Illinois, from everywhere. People came from everywhere. From the south and north and west, they flew into New York City. So it was amazing. Having said that, let's quickly go over the watch list.